If you struggle with Christmas morning feeling a little more chaotic, if you feel like you're always forgetting things, it just doesn't feel like that calm, serene Christmas that you were hoping for, well, let me share some of my best tips with you. I've been doing Christmas morning with kids for almost 17 years now, and there's a few things I've learned. These are like my best tips, tricks, and hacks so that you can have a peaceful and lovely Christmas day, actually enjoy it, especially as the mom. Obviously, one of the big ones is to make sure that you have everything that you need on hand, specifically things like batteries. I typically will do like an Amazon order for the most common size batteries. I also like to double check because inevitably that's the thing is you have AA's, you have AAA's, but something takes like one of those flat batteries, or it takes like C's or D's, which are less common, something that we often don't keep as many of on hand. Double check your gift list. If there's anything that is an electronic device, double check that box. If you've already wrapped it, just go online and look up the gift there where you can actually see the box and the packaging and double check. That way everybody gets to utilize and or play with their gifts after they open them. The other two things to make sure that you have on hand and plenty of leading up to Christmas Day is tape and wrapping paper. In years past, I never purchased enough wrapping paper tape. That can be a little bit frustrating because somebody's gonna end up with a duct taped Christmas gift, you know? So making sure you have plenty of Scotch tape, or the cool looks like a whiteout slider pen, but it's tape. Those are really great. I'll link some of my favorite like wrapping essentials down below in the description box, but making sure that you have enough of those things. And I always like to grab a few larger bows just in case something that I need to wrap is too big and I don't have enough wrapping paper. I can always stick a bow on it and there it is, ta-da. Make sure that I squeeze in my self-care routine. This is kind of like the full routine that I would do before we were gonna do like family pictures or a holiday or a big vacation or something like that. Often as moms, we put ourselves very last. This is just a great time to take care of a few things that I know are gonna help me feel like the best version of me. That's it, right? We're not trying to look like somebody else. I like to do things like make sure that if I need to use my root touch-up pen to touch up the roots of my hair and the gray that's popping through. Not everybody covers their gray, but at this point in my life, I still do. So I like to make sure that I've touched that up so that my gray coverage is taken care of. And for that week leading up to Christmas, I make sure that I use my Blue Mean tool, which I told you guys about before and you sold them out. I absolutely love this thing. This is the Blue Mean Face Pro, and this is a microcurrent device. Using this consistently for the week leading up to Christmas really makes my face feel like less puffy, like we're lifting, helping to address what the aging process is trying to pull my face to the floor. This is helping to lift the face because microcurrent helps to tone and tighten, decreases puffiness, which is one of my favorites, and then also help with like the penetration of the ingredients that you're using in your skincare. So you're paying for nice skincare and you really want to get the most out of it. So using the Blue Mean Face Pro can help with the penetration of that skincare, getting into the layers of your skin better, deeper, etc., which basically is just helping you to get more out of your skincare. And you will notice tighter skin and results if you use this consistently 3 minutes a day, 3 times a week. It is not a huge time commitment. It is easy to slip in, and going someplace and having it done can be very pricey, which is why I love that this is like handheld at home. Can do this myself. Normally the Face Pro is $150, but I do have a link for you guys down below in the description box where you can get $70 off. Plus, they're going to give you a free ebook, which is going to share some face tightening secrets with you. So you get that ebook for free, plus you get $70 off of the Face Pro device. I did want to mention really fast, y'all, that this deal is only for the first 100 people. So definitely check out that link. Remember, if you don't get results that you're happy with, then you do not have to pay for the device. You can get your money back. So it's absolutely worth checking out. It also has different light therapies, which have really amazing benefits for anti-aging, blemishes, dark spots, etc. It's an amazing, like, all-in-one kind of tool. I highly recommend. I will put the link down below in the description box for you to check that out. But that is a big part of my like week leading up, as I make sure that I am using my Face Pro consistently 3 times a week for 3 minutes a day. I typically like to give myself a hydrating facial. I did try the snail mucin face mask from one of the Black Friday deals that I shared with you guys, and I really like it. I also have my favorite, can't remember the name off the top of my head, but the under eye pads that I like to use. Those two things I typically like to do like the day before Christmas Eve, or on Christmas Eve itself, just to make sure that I feel my best on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day when we're hosting and taking a lot of pictures and stuff like that. If I'm feeling as though I'm really looking tired, again, depending on where you are in your cycle around this time, you may feel your best or you may not. If I am feeling exceptionally pale and icky, then I will use my face spray tanner. I will link it down below for you. It's from a company called Coco and Eve. I really love this stuff because I can just spritz it on my face after I wash my face at night, and the next morning I have just the ever so slight glow. It's not obnoxious. I just give it a little spritz, go to sleep, and at least I feel like I have a little bit of a glow the next day, especially if you don't layer it up a bunch. You can get a tan, but I just go light. Angie, go lightly. The next thing I always make sure that I do is at least a base layer declutter. I always make sure I declutter toys. That's the biggest thing. My kids don't have a ton of toys. We do not keep a ton of toys in our house. Even though we don't have as many, I still make sure to go through, get rid of things that are perhaps broken, just missing parts so that now they no longer work. Kids are more receptive to it because they know they're going to be getting some new things. So they're a little more receptive to getting rid of things that otherwise they might feel like a little tight-fisted about. And it allows you to kind of get a head start on what most of us jump into right after Christmas, which is even more decluttering and organizing. So you're getting a head start, which is a little gift to yourself as well. I don't just stop at toys, but if you don't have time to do anything else, that's sort of my number one recommended place. I typically also like to make sure that I am addressing and decluttering my kitchen countertops specifically and pantry specifically. In this last week leading up to Christmas, there's often a lot of food coming in, food that I'm making, ingredients for food, baking, things I've done. We've got a lot of leftovers from things. So I really like to make sure that I have room in my pantry for the items that I'm going to be bringing in for our meals, our holiday meals, but also making sure that fridge is cleaned out so I do have room for the leftovers that I'm going to save, and then my countertops being cleared and less cluttered for having people over, having space to set things out. Christmas decorations already add a lot of visual clutter. I'm much more willing to do that when I already have the visual clutter of Christmas decor. I'm like, okay, let's move this stuff. Let's get rid of some things. Even if I'm not actually getting rid of the thing, I'm just deciding that it's not going to sit out on my counter. I'm going to put it under the cabinet, etc. Make sure that you charge and check and prep all of your cameras and recording devices. I feel like a lot of people use their smartphones for taking pictures and stuff. I like to get out my nicer cameras and things like that at this time. Really imperative, because if I wait for the last minute, I will forget. So I like to make sure that my batteries are charged, that my SD cards for my cameras are cleared. I have formatted them, that everything is ready to go so that I have a clean slate to work with as far as charged batteries, clean cards. I know where my tripod is. I've got my tripod ready to go. Got a remote for your camera to remote shoot or remote turn the video camera part on. Also, I typically will bring inside, I have a battery that goes into my camera and then plugs into the wall so that my DSLR camera will not run out of battery. It basically just keeps it on the entire time, which is fantastic. I love that. I will link that down below for you. That kind of stuff, I like to make sure that I have it all prepped and ready. I don't want any added stress or chaos, me trying to scramble to find these things, or me trying to send my husband to dig through all my stuff to find them for me while I'm busy cooking. It's just save myself the hassle. You can tell probably that I've learned some of these lessons the hard way. Is to make your Christmas cleaning plan. Now, how elaborate and detailed this is totally up to you. For some people, if you're hosting, you want everything. You want every cobweb, you want every baseboard dusted, we want everything done, every nook and cranny. So that's going to be a more elaborate Christmas cleaning prep list. For others, it's just a matter of making sure that things feel tidy and nice and easy and ready to go, right? So to each their own in this department. I actually do have a free cleaning checklist for you. If you check down below in the description box, I have a link down there where you can get access to my Christmas prep cleaning checklist. This is the list that I go through if I'm hosting to make sure that my whole house is ready and prep. If you're going to have guests and we need to make sure that guest things are in place, we need to make sure the guest bathroom is stocked with extra toilet paper. They've got their hand towels and washcloths and everything that they will need. The bedding is cleaned, all of that stuff. I don't like to leave it up to my brain because my brain likes to forget things. So I like to have a list to reference, and it also makes it easier for other people to help you because you can invite your family members to help because there's a checklist and they're not having to come back to you constantly to go, what do you want me to do now? What's next? What do I do now? Here's the list. Next up is the food, the meal plan, thinking about the food. One of my biggest pieces of advice is to simplify your meal plan as much as possible. I have been known to go over the top for things. Shocking, I know. But I tend to make way more food than we can eat. I think I need a whole variety of stuff. We have a ton of leftovers. My advice to you, especially if you feel as though Christmas is typically chaotic or it feels more chaotic this year, is to simplify your meal plan, okay? And the second piece that goes along with that is don't try new recipes on Christmas, okay? I have done this. I am preaching to myself right now. Don't try something you've never made before, something that has strange ingredients to you, right? By that, I just mean like perhaps there's some spices or something in a recipe that you don't normally eat and your family doesn't normally eat. Just do yourself a favor and stick to the tried and trues. Keep it simple. Meat, vegetable side, whatever your meals typically look like for these holidays. Try to keep it as simple as possible. You can also do like potluck style if you are hosting, where you can encourage your guests to bring some things, a lot of times my family members will, like somebody will bring drinks, especially like drinks for the kids, because there's a lot of kids. So somebody will bring drinks for the kids, or a person will also bring a dessert. So then I only feel like I need to make one dessert. You kind of obviously have to know your individual situation, but I highly encourage you to simplify your meal plan as much as possible. Oh boy, my left eye is twitching, so it feels very weird. Simplify your meal plan as much as possible and don't try new recipes. The other thing that I really like to do is to do a make-ahead breakfast for Christmas morning. I like to make a casserole or monkey bread or sometimes both. Not everybody in my house likes sweet things for breakfast. I like to make as much of that ahead as possible because I want to enjoy watching my children open presents, play with their presents, sit down and drink coffee, and I want to have a slower Christmas morning as possible. I can do things to set that up for myself. I don't have to be in the kitchen by myself. Like my family, they wake up early, but then everybody gets like hungry real fast. And so I will often do like my sausage biscuit balls. You can make those ahead of time and then just warm them up. Or you can prep them and then put them in the oven while you're opening presents. So I like to have things that I can do that I don't have to miss out on Christmas morning to run into the kitchen and start making breakfast. My next piece of advice, and this one is a big one, okay? Not big as in hard or complicated, big as in important. Put aside a separate type of garbage bag, something different from what you normally use, whether that is a completely different color, like you typically probably use white kitchen bags in your garbage. Maybe go get like a black lawn and leaf bag, something that's going to stand out separate and apart from your normal garbage bags. Or you could use, containers or one box or something. Mark it clearly, designate it clearly. But here's the big key. This is what you're going to do. On Christmas morning, when people are opening cards and unwrapping gifts, I do save some bags and gift wraps and stuff so they go into their own pile to be put back into the Ferris wheel of gift bags. If it's something that the kids really shred apart or whatever, and I'm going to throw it away into this specific bag. That's where everything goes, is into that specific bag. Everything you're going to actually throw away into that bag. And then I want you to take that bag and I want you to go put it somewhere for a week. Don't put it in your garbage. Don't take it down to the street. Don't put it in the car to take to the dump. Whatever it is you do with your garbage. Don't burn it. I don't know what you do with your garbage. Put it away somewhere safe for a week because inevitably people don't see especially I have 8 children opening presents, and there's 10 of us total, right? So people will miss things. People will miss gift cards. People will miss little pieces of something that go with something else, and they will accidentally throw it away. If your spouse is anything like my husband, it becomes an absolute fanatic about the garbage. It's like he's like a little robot following people around, picking up the garbage behind them on Christmas morning. He's on top of it. But the problem with that is that there's no opportunity for people to find things that they might have missed, or for me to recognize that a child didn't get this piece of the gift. They didn't find it. They didn't see it. I like to keep that big garbage bag set aside somewhere where, should a week from now, once Christmas is over, we've talked to all the relatives on the phone, and grandma says, hey, what did you think about that card, that gift card, that money? Did you get your money that I hid inside this thing? And the kid's like, no, I didn't. It's all right. We don't have to panic. It's not gone forever at the dump. It's just in the garbage bag, and we can go through it. It's in my closet. It's in the garage. It's wherever you want to keep it. That is truly one of my biggest pieces of like practical advice, because that's just the worst when you accidentally throw something away. Next up is to use photos and videos as part of or your thank yous for people. It can get overwhelming, especially like I said, when you have a lot of kids. So I like to take pictures and videos or videos of my children opening up their presents from family members, from other people. So then I can just send that person the picture, the video, and a note, via text or whatever, or email that's like, thank you so much. Jimmy loved the gift, etc. Often the person giving the gift cares far more about seeing the child's enjoyment of the gift, seeing the child excited about the gift, than they do about the actual physical gift card. And I know this breaks all Southern rules of hospitality. I do feel like there's a heart and intent behind that, to say thank you, to not forget to say thank you, to share the joy of the child opening the gift, which is what matters, that this gift brought the joy that it intended. It's a great way to kind of do double duty. You're making memories for your family of the Christmas morning, and you're also kind of taking care of some of your thank yous and other things ahead of time. My next big tip is something that my husband and I have struggled with for so many years, and I think we've finally gotten better, and that is to set aside time to wrap presents before Christmas Eve. We have just always been notorious for waiting until Christmas Eve to wrap presents. I don't know why we did this to ourselves for so many years. Always stayed up way too late wrapping. Then the kids wake up early. You're going on like 2 hours of sleep. You're exhausted, not peaceful, not relaxing, not serene, kind of miserable. I have my husband help me wrap because he likes to wrap. He's actually a pretty good gift wrapper. And it gives us a chance to hang out together, spend some time together leading up to the holidays, which is often a little harder to do, to get some alone time with your spouse. Sometimes we'll watch Christmas movies while we do it, whatever. Try to get our wrapping done, or at least mostly done, before Christmas Eve. And the last tip that I have for you, it might sound a little unconventional and odd, but just hear me out, because there are a lot of benefits, and it might not be for you. Whenever I'm hosting for a holiday, I am running around getting food, trying to get everything prepped, putting things in the oven, not wanting to burn things, making sure that the house is all prepped and stuff. And then I've got 8 children, and not that they all need my help getting dressed, but often making sure that they have all the pieces of their outfits, the stockings, the shoes, the bows. I've got to do their hair. I've got to wipe people's faces, make sure people's fingernails are trimmed, of the younger ones, etc. It's kind of a lot. I often feel like by the time we try to get outside to get a family picture, by the time there's someone else here to take one for us, I'm like sweating, and it's just kind of been chaos, and I feel like the family picture just doesn't go as planned. Now, in years past, when we were showing up at someone else's house for the holidays, it was a little different. But when you are hosting, it's very hard to keep on top of yourself and your whole family and the house, the food, the hosting stuff. So one of the things that I have started doing is to dress my whole family up in our Christmas Day, Thanksgiving Day, whatever, our full garb, right? And take our family picture for Christmas before Christmas, a week before, 3 or 4 days before, it doesn't matter. Consider it a dry run to make sure that everybody's clothes fit. I know some of this is unique to having 8 children, but like making sure that everybody has socks, everybody has their shoes, nobody's lost a lace, like everything fits, everything works. It's like a dry run of our Christmas clothes for that year, and it allows us to get a Christmas picture that is not so chaotic. I can choose the time of day where the lighting is decent to take the picture versus just being beholden to whatever's happening and whenever we have time. It might be a little unique to large families who host Christmas, but I do think it's kind of a good hack and idea is to get yourselves all dressed up, gussied up, especially like the mom, if you're the one, like you can look your best for your family Christmas photo that you're going to put in the album and send to people. And then Christmas Day, if we only make it to 70 or 80% of that, it's okay. It's not so much of a big deal because our major family photo is already taken care of. Just little things I can do to take the stress out of it, because in the moment, the picture is like, does it matter? Does it not? But you, 2 years from now, will wish that you had the picture. So anything I can do to make those things actually happen and prevent all the little roadblocks from being successful and stopping it from happening, that's kind of my focus, because it really is about the memories and having the photos later for us all to look back on like, what did we all look like at that time? Look at how little so-and-so was. Look at how tall so-and-so was. It matters, and photos, family photos are very meaningful to me. So it's something that it might seem silly, but I go out of my way to try to do everything I can to ensure that that happens. Like I said, I've been doing the family kid Christmas thing for almost 17 years now, and I've made a lot of mistakes along the way, but I do feel like we have some things ironed out now, and hopefully some of my sage advice from your older friend can help you. If you're in the younger years of parenting, you can learn from my mistakes and have more of a peaceful, lovely Christmas from the start.
Christmas is coming, the snowflakes